welcome to The Business Connections, where collaborations create impact. This program highlights and celebrates the businesses who've partnered with us over the years, supporting growth, innovation, and community. Together, we're proving that when we connect, we create more. This is The Business Connections.
Well, my name is John Lewis. I'm Marigot. And I've been living in Roseau for quite a few years, longer than I like to believe. And I went to the grammar school on a scholarship from the JCs. And without the JCs, I would not have attended secondary school. At the end of after GCE, the principal at the time wanted me to return to school to do A-level, but it wasn't possible because of my circumstance. I had gotten a job and was able to send a penny for my mother to assist. So I decided that no, I won't do that. The JCs did come to me and offered to assist my mother and pay all my expenses, but I still, being the proud person that I am, I said, no, that sounds like charity. So I will not be able to accept it. They were disappointed, and well, maybe if I had gone to do A-levels, my life would have been different. The genesis of this, it's a friend and I who were together and wondering, how can we earn an extra penny? And the idea of the used books came up, used novels. So that's where we began, collecting novels that person did not want or they thought they had no use for, but were useful to us. So we'd go all underneath their beds and pick up the novels that they had no use for. And we started selling used novels, and we began just next to where the financial center is now, down in a little hole there. And we would have begun in 1978. I think it was 1978 we started. And we started with 5 partners. There were 5 of us, each putting in $500, so our capital $2,500. Jerry James is alive. We invited Adolphus Christian, he's alive. We invited Boniface Baron, he's since passed. Charles of Charles, he's also passed. So that's how many? 4? 4, and myself 5. So there are 3 survivors, 2 dead. And then the idea came upon persons that they could then sell their books and buy their books. So you sell a used book, you buy a used book. And one of the things that I remember most that is very vivid in my mind is one day we sold a total of $2.50. And that has remained with me, and I was happy for $2.50. And then one day we said that, why don't we try the used textbooks? So we started doing the used textbooks, and persons were happy. Instead of, you bring any textbooks, we give you a price, you get $1, you buy something else. So that continued that way. There came a time when we thought that we needed some more capital. And I suggested, hey guys, we need some more money. And 2 of them were unable to come forth. So they sold their shares, right? And then later on, because of circumstances, another 2 were able to continue, so they sold and we bought it. So it became from 5 to 1 owner. And then the customers said to us, well, why don't you do new textbooks? At the time there was Paperbacks, who was the main provider of books on the island. There was Astapan, there was CB's, and there was St. Agnes. So he said, yes, we will try it. So we'll bring in 20 books at a time per subject. And my staff would laugh at me and say, well, Mr. Lewis, the books are finished. Because as we bring it in, it goes. And then we decided to increase the amount that we were bringing in, and it went on and went on and went on. And bearing in mind rather that Paperbacks was well entrenched, capital was limited. I remember we probably would have been among the first persons to take a loan from the National Bank. And I remember Miss Latig was the loans officer. We had no capital, no security. And she said, Mr. Lewis, do not let me down. Right? So she offered a $5,000 loan. He said, Mr. Lewis, please do not let me down. And we were happy for it. And if she were wrong, she would say, yes, you have not let me down. When I was in my early 20s, as a member of JC's, we had this program, leadership training program, and there were certain goals that I had set myself. And one of them was to be self-employed at 40. And I achieved all of those goals. I'm not going to mention the others. Right? So I left my employment at the tobacco factory just before I was 41, in December of 1990. It was a hard decision because I was comfortable. It took me 3 visits to the manager's office before I could say to him, I'm leaving. All right? So each time I went to him, something came up and I chickened out. But the last time I went to him, I said, Mr. Roll, the Little Chandel movie that I have, it's calling for my time and I'm resigning, and I left his office. No discussion. Bearing in mind, when I left the tobacco factory, we were still in the Chandel movie, right? At the corner there, small space. But we had a belief in ourselves. So we continued, and then we realized that for us to survive, we need space. Because at the time, my office was downstairs of my house. That's where my office was, downstairs of the house. And we were employing, I think at the time, probably 2 persons. So we started searching, and we would take a drive, my wife and I would say, Juliet, look on the left, and I'll look on the right. We're looking for empty space. We were with the Charles brothers. We didn't find anything, but we started talking to the Charles brothers. And as luck would have it, it turned out that yes, they were happy to sell us a piece of the land, and we were happy to take it. And the rest is history. And I would say all of it is God's guidance, because At one time, we used to buy a carton of paper from Astafans to resell. Okay? We buy a carton of paper and we resell it. And we were not ashamed to do that. We began to negotiate with the powers that be that we are able to supply books, right? As I said, Paperbacks was the main supplier of books at the time. They had the market, basically. And we started working with the schools, visiting the schools, speaking with them, marketing, basically, marketing ourselves to the schools, and that paid off big time. Gentleman walked into my office. By that time I think we built there in 1991. And he said, I want you to represent us in Dominica. That's a gentleman from Canada. Did not know him. He was into furniture, so he wanted me to. I said, yeah, but why don't you go to Astafan? He said, no, we want you. I have nowhere to put the furniture. He says, you have to import a container load of furniture. You have to purchase 100 catalogs and whatever else. And I said, well, it's an opportunity, we'll go for it. So we didn't have space, so we used to hoist the furniture up to the 3rd floor. And then upon sale, bring it back down. So we bring in a container load of furniture, be it chairs or cabinets, you hoist it up and then bring it back down. But that paid off, and the furniture business continued to grow. And what more can I tell you? My wife and I were driving, and I said, I think when we bought out the other persons, I said to her, we need a name for the business. And she said, Jay's. I said, what did you say? She said, Jay's. That's it. But she said, Jay's. I said, what did you say? She said, Jay's. I just went with Jay's. That was it. Jay's has stuck. And we registered Jay's Limited as a company in 1988. So 10 years after we began, we converted to a company. In terms of education, I remember I said that I went to school based on a scholarship from the JCs and education of kids. That's very close to me. So that when the education fund was launched by the Eugenia Charles government, I think it's 81, somewhere around there, the guys who were with me, I said, guys, we have to participate. But at the time, all we could give was $50. And we gave $50. Then we moved to $1,000, and to $500, then $1,000, then $2,000, then $5,000, and $10,000, $15,000, and we've been given $20,000 for the past probably 10, 15 years. We feel proud to give back, not just to the community, but to seek to touch the life of at least one child in a positive way. Outside of that, the last time I checked, we were assisting some, I think 29 students to attend school. Give an amount to some schools to touch the life of a particular child or particular children, because there are some kids who go to school without a breakfast. And we say to the school, you use it the best way you see it. All right? I think we have about 4 or 5 schools that we are doing that way. Because we believe that the more you give, the more you get to give again. Right? So we don't have any problem in giving. So in a nutshell, that's the story of Jay's. We have come a long way, I believe. As far as the textbooks are concerned, people still use textbooks. We anticipate that that is the trend, that is where it's heading. Just to note that Sweden in 2009 went all soft copy. And last year they were spending 100 and something million euros to go back to the hard copy, because they realized that the children were much distracted, right? And you would have read as a news person of the controversy in Australia, right? And there are 2 other countries that are banning phones in school for 16. I don't have it to my head now. So the people, this is something that we are quite aware of. We are now in the process of building our website in order to facilitate that. And the companies that we deal with are also aware of it. As far as general reading is concerned, reading is not a popular thing anymore as it used to be, unfortunately. We need to congratulate DBS for staying the course with the reading competition. But reading is not what it used to be when I grew up, or even when we started this business. Right? It was a hobby. Now the hobby is this thing which isolates us in a corner and makes us, should I say, antisocial? Yeah, because we are happy with our device. Gone are the days when, people used to rush at CBs to buy magazines and comics and other reading material, when the library was filled with young people, old people, all kind of people reading. Those days are gone. Unfortunately, I believe. And if you were to visit the schools, you'll realize that literature is not very popular anymore because it takes a lot of reading. History is not as popular as it used to be because there's too much reading, right? And that's where we are. I believe that reading is an important thing. For me, I think that where I sit, that literature should be compulsory all the way up to fifth form. That's how I feel. Even if it's not written as an exam, it should be compulsory. But that's where we are. Let me just say, I know of an island that tried that and it was a disaster. Some years ago, in fact, if my information is correct, the Minister of Education came under a lot of fire and may have been fired, I can't be sure about that. But it has been tried in the Caribbean, and I will say in the OECS that I know of, and it did not work out. Okay? And I'm sure it's going to be tried again. It's been tried in Jamaica. Right? So I believe it is a matter of time before it reaches Dominica. I still believe in the face-to-face. All right? I think there is nothing like face-to-face. When it comes to mass marketing or advertising, then that's a different thing. And maybe that's why I use DBS occasionally, right? We are looking more at using the social media. So, we use this, we use the Facebook, there's a Facebook page that we're using. But I still believe the face-to-face, there's nothing like looking someone in the eye and having an exchange so that the questions can be answered and you convince the person. It's the old-time way, and I believe it still works. I think we have a very good relationship with DBS. We are able to call DBS, and on the spur of the moment, DBS will say, yes, we will do X, Y, or Z, we will pick it up. So we have a good relationship with DBS, and 90% of our advertising with DBS. The Dominican public has been very, very supportive of us in every instance. And we want to say a big thank you to the public. They've been really supportive, and we could not have survived without that support. Dominica's population is declining, and it is declining at a very, very fast rate because childbirth is something of the past. I'm not sure what the reason is, right? And my yardstick that I use is in the 90s when the cream of the crop wrote common entrance, right? Because everyone was not. We used to send between 2,500 and 3,000 children to write common entrance. Now, everybody goes. Last year, the number who wrote the grade 6 exit exam was 750. The year before it was 760, before that it was 800, and before that 900, and then 1,000. So the school population is very small, right? It's exceedingly small. And I'm not sure what the answer is, but I think it's a discussion that needs to be had. Because eventually the country is going to become an aging country. If there are no youths, then you become an aging country. And an aging country can't survive for long. So a discussion is going to have to be had on the question of population. I know that China with 1-point-something billion has complained. Japan has complained. Barbados has also complained about, the birth rate. And where we have more death than births, then we are in trouble.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of The Business Connections. It was written and produced by Delma Semper and Hassan Robinson. Interviews were conducted by Delma Semper, Hassan Robinson, and Cecil Joseph.